So again, my name is Jeff Williams. I'm the chair of the Palouse Liberty Project, and I want to thank you all for coming out tonight in defense of liberty. I want to thank our speakers, and I hope that all of you have been inspired in some way to action today. The weather isn't great, we're cold, but I have two important points that I need to drive home with you. My first point is, no matter what they claim, progressives want to ban guns. Forget the denials and the smokescreens. Ignore the chattering classes and the propagandists. Wrap your brain around this. They will do it legislatively. They will try and do it through fiat executive order. They will try to do it through regulation. To quote, they will go through the gate. If the gate is closed, they will go over the fence. If the fence is too high, they will pole vault in. If that doesn't work, they will parachute in. They are going to do everything they can do to get this done, period. And if you don't think their strategies will work, when you're done today, head over to Tri-State and try to buy some ammunition. George Orwell said that in a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Sometimes listening is too. Attorney General Eric Holder. What we need to do is change the way in which people think about guns and make it something that's not cool, that's not acceptable. The same way in which we've changed our attitudes about cigarettes. We want to really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way. Senator Dianne Feinstein. If I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban picking up every gun, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in, I would have done that. Nancy Pelosi, speaking of fascists, something must be, this is 2 days ago, something must be done because that's what the American people expect and what they deserve. We're not taking no for an answer. And last but not least, I don't believe people should be able to own guns. President Barack Obama. Ladies and gentlemen, the enemies of liberty are here. They are all around us. And they are announcing to us what they plan to do. We are only surprised by their actions because we don't take them seriously, and it's time for that to change. The bottom line is, you have to see the world for what it is, not what you wish it to be. Last month, right here in this square, there was an anti-gun rally. Some of our friends across the street may have been there. They sang, and there's a video on the web, they sang, "We shall overcome." My question is, who are they going to overcome? Are they going to overcome criminals? It's tough to do that when you abdicate your right of self-defense. So who are they going to overcome? I submit that they are going to try to overcome you and me, but I don't think it's going to work. Let me make this crystal clear. You can't have my guns. You can't have my ammunition. I'm not going to give up my AR-15, and I'm not going to use 10-round magazines because, damn it, I like the 30s, and I don't care if you don't like it, period. But the flip side, if you don't want a firearm in your home or your place of business, that's your right. And guess what? I'll defend that, and I'll respect that, but that's not good enough for them. My sincere advice to them is don't tell me what to do. I do not react well to force and coercion. But that is what they are saying. We shall overcome you. Our opponents don't care about your rights. They are tolerant of your beliefs and your opinions only if you agree with their point of view. And if you don't, to hell with you. They may say compromise, but they don't mean compromise. They mean submit. If you want proof, look at history. 100 years, 22,000 federal gun laws and counting. It's an excessively one-way street. And President Obama, a sitting president, the guy who is supposed to unite us, not divide us, pounds the podium and orders them to get in your face, to shove it down your throat. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time to respond. Not with violence, not with hatred, but with unbending will and firm reliance on divine providence. You look these people in the face, you look them in the face and state your resolve. You let them know that you disagree. You let them know that you will not comply. You let them know that your natural rights are just as important to you as the air that you breathe. And anyone who wishes to take them away from you will regret it. Point 2. Nothing and no one will protect your rights for you except you. And by that I mean the rights that you personally will not defend will be lost or will be taken from you. I guarantee it. And if you refuse to defend, then you're giving them away. And not only for you, but for the rest of us as well. And if you're in that category, then shame on you. The Constitution will not protect us. Go get a copy. Nice parchment one. Gift shop material. Take it over to the Moscow-Pullman Highway. Stand in traffic and hold it up. That's how much the Constitution will protect you as that car drives straight through. We have it 100% backwards. The Constitution isn't supposed to protect us. We are supposed to protect the Constitution. It's our duty to defend it. The Constitution is only a piece of paper, especially when we rely on others to interpret or enforce it. Most politicians pay lip service to it, make a meal out of our liberties, and then wipe their ass with it. It is only paper if we do not defend it. And when I say politician, I don't just mean Democrat. I don't just mean those who get swept up and corrupted by our systems in faraway places like DC or Olympia or Boise. It's happening here. January 23rd. Thank you, Nancy Cheney. Thank you, Walter Steed, for 2 pages of official anti-amazing gun BS. And I was told that I could only say BS today. I have other words that I'd like to use for it. From magazine restrictions to firearms registration schemes and confiscation without due process, it's all in the letter. Homegrown. No authority to do any of it, but I guess they figured it was time to flap their gums and jump on the bandwagon. The conclusion of the letter reads like this. To be sure, the majority of gun owners are law-abiding, responsible citizens who will presumably support a common-sense approach to gun rights and regulations. So here we go again. We're going to assault the law-abiding while criminals continue to do what they always do. Newsflash, Nancy, Walter, it's why they're called criminals. That's what they do. They ignore the law. Now, did I mention that Walter Steed happens to be the chairman of the supposedly conservative Latah County GOP? So I imagine after he signed this letter that they fired him. No. The Latah GOP said, we got to keep him because he helps us win. What? Helps you win? I'm really sorry that winning elections is the most important thing to the Latah County GOP. Like so many other politicians, I'm sorry that they have sold us out. Winning at any cost, without core values, throwing our rights under the bus so they can chalk another one up in the W column. I don't know about you guys, but I don't play for that team. I don't even like watching that team. Latah County GOP, here's your message today. Either stand for the Constitution or quit wasting our time. If we want to be stripped of our rights, we will elect Democrats. At least that way, we know what we're getting. Let's briefly switch to national news. Very happy to report to you that nearly all of the recent anti-gun tsunami that has been driving this debate was defeated in the Senate just a couple of days ago. But don't celebrate just yet. Obama says this is just round 1. Biden says the gloves are coming off. And Pelosi is saying that they won't take no for an answer. And you know what? I believe him. And you should too. 6 votes, 1 Supreme Court justice, and on paper, you can run the Second Amendment and the rest of your rights through the shredder. Again, let's see the world for what it is, not what we wish it to be. This was not some kind of a slam dunk victory. They are so close to getting this done, they can taste it. They are salivating and they are licking their lips in anticipation. Don't fool yourself. This is a goal line stand, and our defense sucks. So what happens if they punch it through? Touchdown. Then what? The Second Amendment was written to ensure our present security was never forcibly endangered by tyrants. My rights are inherent as a free human being. They are granted by my Creator, not my government. They can pass whatever laws they want. And then they should come to my house first, because I am not going to comply. In fact, I am going to resist. And if I stand alone, then so be it. I may end up in jail. I may end up dead. But I can personally live with that, because when our children and grandchildren wonder what we did to preserve, protect, and defend their liberties, my conscience is clear. But I have a better idea. Instead of the government just crushing me, which would be a bad thing for me, let's all stand up together. Let's all stand up and let's never sit back down. Let's stand up, because this debate is over. It's been over for a long time. December 15th, 1791, but now it's time to defend it. We need to stand. We need to stand now with common and unfailing resolve. We must weather the insults. We must weather the stigma. We must weather the loss of friends, but we have to defend, and we have to do it now. Wake up. Wake up. Your opponents see you. They see your family. They see you as the enemy. Your opponents see this as a fight. Why don't you? One more time. See the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. 213 years ago today, we've heard the history. Captain John Parker told his men at Lexington, "Do not fire unless fired upon, but if they mean to have a war, then let it begin here." I'm glad that our ancestors made the choice that they did and opposed tyranny, because everything that we have, I think everything that we are, can be traced back to that one moment on Lexington Green. But those men, they didn't know that. They stood just because it was the right thing to do. Like I'm standing here now. Like hopefully tomorrow, you'll stand. They could see what was coming. If the Second Amendment fails, how many of our natural rights can possibly survive? Ladies and gentlemen, the lines are already formed, and your choice is at hand. Join me. Join me now. Stand and fight for the future of liberty. Thank you.